Courage Bear, welcome, welcome. Dan Barone! Yes, I'm so glad you're here. Because you're going to enjoy this series of announcements that I have. But I want to wait for more people to come in for the second half. Because, oh my goodness. I've got announcements, Dan Brown, and you're going to enjoy it. But how is your day going? Any fun adventures? Same questions to you, Courage Bear. Yes, Dan the man with a silver ladle of gravy. What is this? Courage Bear, do you have any fun stories or things to talk about while we wait for people to join back up? Ron's World, welcome, welcome. Or you can request to be on the stream. Yeah, I'd love your explanation, but it's easier for me if you just because for you it's easier 2 clicks. For me, I've got to hit the search and then search up your name. So, request to be added, and I'll let you in, bruh. Because I'm curious. Oh, so you were following the Rich Dad Poor Dad thing. Yeah, that's a great resource. I've got a couple of his books. Yeah, I'm very familiar. Yeah, and Courage Bear wants to hear you, bro. Request to be in this stream, and I shall admit you. Because I am the gatekeeper of Late Night with JapJap. But you have been permitted. Oh, wait, here we go. I figured it out. I found an easy way to do it.
Dude.
What's up?
Hey, get on Rich Dad Poor Dad YouTube channel. He's literally explaining his last 3 or 4 videos is explaining how to make money. I've literally made $20,000 or $30,000 in 2 weeks. I was telling you guys a couple weeks ago about it, but you guys were so cool for school. But literally, watch it, man. You gotta teach.
Are you the dude that was talking shit and at first I was weirded out, but then it was hilarious?
Dude, I know. Just watch Rich Dad Poor Dad YouTube channel, bro. Just watch 3 episodes.
I'm looking it up right now, man.
And then, because I don't want to explain anything, just watch it.
All right.
All right. Yeah, just when you have time, check it out. Because everything I'm gonna tell you, you guys, you're the way you guys see money is just weird. Just watch the show. All right, later, guys.
All right.
Cool. Because I can't break it all down, but just watch 2 episodes, man.
So just to verify, so we thank you for the gravy, Ron. But Ron, just to verify, is this the one you're referring to, or is there another Rich Dad Poor Dad channel that you are referring to? I have a tennis ball. A tennis ball can bounce. Oh no! Oh, I almost spilled my beer. Let's use a less bouncy object. I have a tape measure. It will not bounce and knock over my beer. Oh no, I'm trying to kill time until more people join up. Or maybe, what if there's like a malfunction again? Because last night, apparently people were talking in the chat a lot, and I just couldn't see any of their chats. Maybe there's actually like people here again, and just I don't see it. I don't know. War Bear, welcome, welcome. Courage and War, anything on your minds, anything you want to talk about? Like, literally, any topic in the world. Ooh, try and stump me on a topic. Like, bring up something I don't know about. I'm a dragon. Oh, of course I ran out of smoke when I declared that I was a dragon. Silly JapJap bear. You're not a dragon. Well, I believe in you, bro. Yeah. Alair Bear, welcome, welcome. Turns out I'm not a dragon, by the way. I learned that. Oh, wait. Maybe I still can be a dragon. But I've got to load a new bowl before I can be Dragon JapJap Panda. Alair Bear, do you have any fun questions for me? Try and stump me on something. I'm curious as to what you will come up with. All right. Ready, activate, Dragon JapJap mode. I'm a dragon. Oh, that wasn't even a good hit. Disappointing. I don't think I'm a dragon, guys. I tried. Wait, is Dan Brown gone? Ah, oh, damn, I want... Oh, wait, no. Don't hit that. All right, cool. I want Dan Brown to come back on because I want to show him the book has arrived. And then I also want Bear Racer to get on. The show... Oh, I can invite people, can't I? No fucking shit. I'm a stupid person. Oh, and obviously there's a search function. So I want, I literally just said their names. I want Dan Barone, and I want Bear, or wait, it's not how you spell bear. Bear Razor. There we go. Baho Bear! What's up, brother? UN pushes to intervene in Portland, Oregon. Your thoughts on that? Ooh. Oh, no. That's the button. Wait. Patience. There we go. I have not heard about that. That's fantastically interesting. UN pushes... like, on the surface, it doesn't seem to make any sense because of... current legal jurisdictions. Oh, UN panel takes aim at heavy-handed. All right, so... Oh, yeah, Human Rights Committee, come the fuck on. That's just the UN bitching. Yeah, definitely. He was really fun. All right, so... Courage Bear, what the... Great, good. I had not heard of that. So you get a special brownie point. I don't know what that means, but dude, thank you. I learned something just now. Turns out that the UN is like their human rights committee is trying to be like, oh, how dare the police do what they're doing to the Portland peaceful protesters. Standard UN move. That was a good one, though. I didn't know that. Gracias, senor. You are quite honorable. Trainer Bear, what's going on with you, brother? Also, Bell Reaver, are you done studying yet? Or what's up, man? Oh, you just said, un momento, senor. Roger that. So also, does anyone know like what's gonna happen when I start taking turpentine tomorrow morning? Like low key, I'm a little bit nervous. Nice. Trainer Bear crushing it as an awesome father, as always. Oh, is Dan back? Yes, Dan, you're back. All right, Dan. The book has arrived. And Bell Reaver has come. Scott, welcome back, brother man. What's up, Bell? Radio check. Right. I started reading it today, dude. Like it's so Scott's this book. Oh, Scott, what's up, bro? So this book is it was written in 1898. It's called The Home Beyond or Views of Heaven. The table of contents is man, life. So like chapter 1 is man, chapter 2 is life, death, the dying testimonies and experiences, the martyrs, the death of children, immortality, the resurrection, heaven, recognition, angelic ministry, and saintly sympathy. And like, look at the high quality of the illustrations. Like, just boom. Apparently, this dude is the Reverend T. D. Witt Talmage, D.D. Over 400 authors have contributed to this, and also over 100 illustrators. Ooh, that's a good idea, Trainer Bear. And so, yeah, 1898. And so, the first stream, I read this, and I want to read it again for the second half of the stream, just because it's really potent. The title is called Man a Reed That Thinks. Man is but a reed, the frailest in nature, but he is a reed that thinks. It needs not that the whole universe should arm itself to crush him. A vapor, a drop of water will suffice to destroy him. But should the universe crush him, man would be, or would yet be nobler than that which destroys him, for he knows that he dies. While the advantage which the universe has over him, the universe knows nothing. And so, like when it says, a man or reed that thinks, this whole passage, like little short thing, is talking about how just I bought it off the internet, off of Amazon. Apparently there's only like 3 or 4 copies in the whole world. Some shit. I don't know. And so it's like the reed is so fragile. And what I find interesting is there's a specific prophecy about Jesus Christ that has to do with reeds, like what something about not bending the reeds. I don't remember the specific prophecy, but like the reed itself is so fragile, and so the author uses that as the weakness in this binary that he's presenting about man, where on one aspect man is so weak like a reed, but then on the other aspect, if the entire universe itself conspires against man to destroy him, even as he dies, he shows that he is something different and better as a child of Jesus Christ, or a brother of Jesus Christ, child of God. And he knows he's dying. The universe lacks that level of intelligence and understanding. And so it's like so strong and yet so weak simultaneously. And guys, I'm just a couple pages into this. Like this is a absolutely brilliant book. And also in the future, I plan on, like, as I'm reading through this, at once I want to do, yeah, dude, Scott Wright. It's so deep. Nick, welcome, welcome. Like, so my plan is at the beginning of each half of the stream, I'm going to read a passage from here, from like what I like, just pick out something like the best of what I read that day, and see if I can do a deep dive on the author and learn more about like his life in historical context. 480 pages, Dan Brown, because technically it's 512 pages, but the first 31 pages are the introduction and the various indices. Maybe. I'm going to take a note of that, and then I'll get back to you tomorrow. Pursuit of God. Yes, that book cover looks very familiar. So I'll check my bookshelves and see whether or not I've read that, and then I'll get back to you, Scott. But that book, the cover of that book looks very familiar. And so if I've read it, then like one of my biggest weaknesses is sometimes like there's just so much like in there that I have no idea what I know sometimes. And so it takes me a while to access those programs. And so reading the back of the book will probably restart those programs. And then I'll be able to like summarize the whole book like I do with other things. Mask torn off. Great thing about this is even though he says the back, because it is a large book, I go to the index at the front and then mask torn off. Uh-oh. It's not in that general index. I'll just go to the end. I was trying to be a smart boy. Turns out I just embarrassed myself. The home beyond. Views on heaven. Mask torn off. Yeah, exactly. And like some of these things, the what these people are, these like pastors and like these various people are saying, like goes over my head. And so that's why I want to research the specific authors and learn more about them and the historical context in which they lived, because that'll help me get a greater understanding of the works collected in this book. Oh, list of books. Yeah, I don't have that portion, bro. So it ends at the very last. Like, so after the last entry, it doesn't have the advertisements. But remember, didn't you say that yours was published in 1895? This one was published in 1898. So maybe like the difference of the 3 years, it got more popular, so they didn't need advertisers anymore. I don't know. But that's also something interesting to look into if I can find it. Like, why the difference? because there are blank pages in the front and the back, but if I remember correctly, that's a very common practice with book binderies. Maybe I'm being a retard again. Just get from like a third of the way back. Guys, I don't know when this is from, but I was just leafing through the back half, and here's a news article. TR's favorite hymn to be read at funeral. Colonel Roosevelt's favorite hymn. Guys, I feel like a detective. Like I just found like a secret treasure. Colonel Roosevelt's favorite hymn, which at the request of Mrs. Roosevelt will be read at his funeral today. Right? Alright, so it's like a super God honoring, like old school 1800s hymnal. So, or hymn. So now I've got to figure out who Colonel Roosevelt is and find out the context of this random hymn I've never heard of before. And then I've got, like, on the back is other news articles, like, which could be clues for me to discover, like, when this piece of paper is from. Oh my goodness! This is like the greatest day, not the greatest day, but it's definitely like a top 20 days of my life. Oh my goodness, this is amazing. Are there any more secret gems in here? Like Dan Barone, I was just looking for so I went like a third of the way back or from the end, and I'm just like leafing through it as delicately as I can because like I'm looking for like maybe yeah, no, I'm not. So now I'm at the end. I'm not seeing any advertisements. So that's probably the difference between 1895 and 1898. But guys, how brilliant is that? I've got like my own little like treasure hunt. And that, guys, is why like I like even before I found this like little special note, when I first opened the package and just held the book in my hands, I was instantly addicted to owning more books that were over 100 years old. So I now have a new hobby, buying old books, because apparently they can possibly have hidden treasures in them too. In addition to all the gravy and like old school knowledge they have, oh my goodness, this is something we should introduce all the bears to. Right? Like this is gravy, guys. Gravy in real time. No worries, Bell Reaver. Put your studies and responsibilities above the stream. Those are more important. Dan, I'm just learning this. Like I guess I got a piece of this because I've got a Bible that's from like the 50s, and the front and the back cover are made from wood from the branch of an olive tree that was from like grew in the city of Jerusalem. Like super cool, like King James Version Bible. And like that, like when I first received that book as a gift, I was like, whoa, this is so cool, like blah blah, like so much spiritual significance. Like I felt the resonation of the book. But something that's 100 and what, like 22 years old, like this has a very unique feeling. Just like holding it, just paging through it, like even just like the way the paper feels and smells is entirely different from any book I've ever handled in my entire life. Like this gives me, like, as Wrangler Star says, this gives me the fizz. Like, this makes me feel giddy like a child in a way that I've not felt in I don't know how long. Yes, a lair bear. If you already have a resource of a library of old books, look for the gravy and report to the bears. Oh yeah, Bellweaver. Ezekiel is also intense. Like the majority of like the prophetic books, even like the history book, like the majority of the Old Testament is just like all gravy and crazy intense. I mean, I wouldn't go that far to say it's sacred, but because like in my opinion, on like the Bible is sacred, like not like the physical book, but the, like under because like the NIV version, for example, like is grabbled, and like various modern versions are grabbled. But I think it's, and I don't really quite know how to quantify this or describe it in a coherent manner that's theologically like airtight. But basically, it's when you're reading the Bible, like let's say like for example, for me right here, this is an NIV version of the Bible. I know that this version is grabbled, but one of my hobbies is to Ari Signy, welcome, welcome. One of my hobbies is to read through the modern day translations of the Bibles and find the mistakes. Like, where does it disagree with the Greek translation? Where does it disagree with the King James version? Like, et cetera, et cetera. And so even though I know that the NIV is grabbled, it's still my favorite like version to read, translation, whatever, because it's easier for me to understand the words, like the these and the thous. But now that I'm like kind of hooked on old school books, I think I'm gonna learn my these and thous quite quickly, dare I say. Yeah, exactly, bro. Dan Brown, your book has sentimental value, and that makes like your book have so much more meaning because I just bought my book off of Amazon. Like your grandfather gave you that book, and lo and behold, this book is a source of gravy and spiritual wisdom and life knowledge, like just deep stuff. Yeah, I understand why your physical copy of the book means so much more to you than mine does to me. Even though like I love this as a resource, it's not sacred for me. But because of the family connections, yeah, I totally like that's logical. GDI guy, welcome, welcome. Yeah, dude, Greek is a good language to know because like for the English language, we only have one word for love. Let me double check it just so I don't get it wrong. Uh, Greek words for love. So there are one, two, three, four, five. So depending on which, oh, seven. There we go. There we go. So depending on which source you go to, just like a quick Google search is like the three Greek words for love, the four Greek words for love, the five Greek words for love, the seven Greek words for love. So depending on your source, oh yeah, the truth is contagious. I completely agree. And yes, Dan, I will like I'm diving in. I dove into it a little bit today, but tomorrow I'm gonna have much more time. I'm diving into it deeper, and like I want to like tomorrow I want to be able to tell you guys a little bit about the author of the selection I picked for that day, and I want it like that's gonna increase the level of logos in the stream so much. But for one of the many great reasons to understand Greek um, more, Ari Signy, is so in English we have one word for love. And interesting, the moon does look brighter. I'll have to check that out in a second. But I've read after I address this point. But in the Greek, there's seven words for love. Eros is a romantic, passionate love. Philia is an affectionate love, like a friendship, affectionate love, like homies. brothers. Agape is a selfless, universal love, like the love of Jesus Christ. Storge is a familiar love, like it's similar to agape, but it's less playful. Mania is obsessive love, like stalkers and like crazy people. Ludus is just straight playful love, kind of like what's a good example of ludus? It's just like two people being very, very flirty with each other, and they both have strong feelings, but for whatever reason, they cannot take it past the flirty stage, and so it's just like excessive flirtiness. It's kind of like ludus. Pragma is enduring love, so like love through the ages kind of thing. So it's like homie you've known since like high school, or like you were 2 years old, now you're like 80, or like having the love of your life, like married for 60 years. Yeah, Trainer Bear. That's why I enjoy these seven translation Greek versions words of the word love because they're much more descriptive. The English term or word love is just insanely grabbled. I completely concur. And then the last Greek version of love is philuatia, and it's self-love. King James, so it's using the word charity instead of what word? And what's the reference? Oh yeah, Dan Brown, like for what it says about Darwinism. So when I first got the book, I was like, oh, I've got to. Man, why did I just take my phone off the charger? I have no idea. Oh, that's why. I'm looking at the moon. Duh. But yeah, so like originally I wanted to like cherry pick like different sections that just sounded like super interesting. But then I came to the conclusion that the most productive way to approach the book for the first time, because obviously I'm going to read the whole book several times over, but the most, in my opinion, what I've derived is that to read the whole book front to back and just to initially get its concepts within my brain housing group. And then after I kind of get a greater understanding of the book in general, then I can cherry pick things as I'm led by the Lord. Yeah, it does look a little bit brighter. Interesting. I wonder why that is. Bear. Oh, charity instead of love. But I mean, even then, charity, like depending on the situation, charity is not quite like an accurate description. Yeah, Aaron Siggy, I completely agree. Like, there's a variety of synonyms which help describe a little bit more, but those synonyms do not generally, for the most part, like I could say that I adore someone, and yes, adore within the proper context is a synonym of love. Or I could use, let's just go through them. Synonyms of love. Make it easy. Synonym of love. So fondness is, yeah, it's a synonym of love, fondness, but fondness doesn't have nearly the similar level of emotional connection, which is like with all these seven Greek translations, it still has that level of connection of love, but it's just in a subtly different way. Like tenderness, yeah, kind of a synonym, but completely different meaning from love. Warmth, same thing. Intimacy, same thing. Well, I guess intimacy is closer to the mark. Attachment, same thing. Endearment, same thing. Devotion's a good one. Uh, Charity can be false love, but it also can be genuine love, depending on the situation. Yeah, yeah. So I'm saying is like all these are like either good or great synonyms of the word love, but not a single one of the words on those lists had the same level of potency as the word love, in the same way that these seven words of a translation of the word love in Greek do. And that's my point, is like, for that specifically, Greek is just way, way more accurate. And I want to learn more about Greek myself, because knowing more about like the Bible in Greek would assist my knowledge on understanding God more. And that's always a plus. Trainer Bear's a special boy. Yes, of course, Jesus can define love better than all these things that we are saying. Jesus is perfect. He's the Alpha, the Omega. All things are made for him and by him and through him, or by him and through him and for him. Like, yes. Touch Bible. All right, I will add that to my list of things to look into. Yup. That was one of my go-to verses when I was in Afghanistan, for sure. I concur. But even that very Dan, even that very altruistic and accurate description, like, we literally don't have the words to fully describe the love of Jesus Christ, because the love of Jesus Christ is literally infinite. What's up, Chanabet?
What's happening, man? Yeah, dude. I remember at the beginning of the Corona, I was on Facebook just trying to red pill the world um, aggressively, and people are like, "You're not acting in love. You're not speaking in love," and blah blah blah.
Yup.
And then I don't even like 1 Corinthians 13 that much. Obviously I like first. That almost sounded like sacrilegious, but that's fine. I'm okay with being sacrilegious.
We get what you're saying.
The thing is, it's like 1 Corinthians 13 to me is it's a description of God, right? Because Paul says God is love, and he goes into 1 Corinthians 13 of what love is, and he's basically describing God. None of us are able to be any of those things, really. Patient, kind, all that. But that's why I like Jesus' definition the best. That's why you made me out to be like that cliche. Jesus is the answer. When you're like, okay, Trainer's a special boy, because it's like, yeah, I get it. It sounded like in text format, like it's like, what's the answer to every question? Jesus.
Well, I knew you had deeper gravy there, and so I was mocking you because I was kind of trying to provoke you.
So here's the gravy.
All right.
Based on
Ladle the gravy.
Based on Facebook hatred. I was getting mad at everybody, going like railing against people and stuff, and it's like, who's more likely to lay their life down for someone? Because that takes some balls. Who's more likely? Okay? If let's just say the military's coming down the street here, and they're gonna go door to door and start killing people. Like, who's less likely to snitch? The guy that won't budge on wearing a mask and is out there like just putting themselves out there constantly, or the people that are just hiding in their houses, acting nice, acting kind, acting patient, acting all those things in 1 Corinthians 13 that people love to quote.
Mm-hmm.
And it's like so that's why it's like, oh, I'm a kind person, and I'm
Well, but for 1 Corinthians 13, they always quote the love stuff, but they never quote the first three verses. If I speak in the tongues of men or angels, but do not have love, I am only resounding gong or a clanging cymbal. And like it just keeps going. It's like, all right, so if I don't do things without love, like I'm basically worthless. And that means if you misinterpret the next couple of verses, does that mean you're worthless? I hypothesize, I question, I ponder.
Well, I'm not really tracking you.
Well, so it's like these people that it's kind of like the people that are like, oh, Matthew, is it like Matthew 10:26 or whatever, where it's like, judge not, lest ye be judged. Where people use that as like a defense mechanism to get you off their back as like legal church and stuff.
Did you know Black Lives Matter is using an Amos scripture?
Wait, they're using scripture?
Yeah, dude. They're using an Amos scripture condemning Christians and talking about justice. What it's like an Amos, something about God hating the sound of songs or music. It was, well, okay, so it was, there was an article that was, have you seen what Sean Fuchs is doing?
Mm.
Do you know who Sean Fuchs is? Okay. So I wonder if anyone in the chat has seen Sean Fuchs. So Sean Fuchs is a worship leader / politician. A lot of red flags, but, you know, follow me here. He has been going around the country. Basically, he's been going to every major city where there's been protests. And he's going there and setting up like a stage and microphones and stuff and doing worship events, which I think is pretty cool, right? Even if the motivation, who knows what it is, but like the fact that he's making a point, because everywhere he's going, like not everywhere, but a lot of cities, I think Chicago, there's been a few cities that has basically told him he can't do it. They can't do it. When
Nice.
In those same cities were the cities that let the protesters protest. So I think that's sort of what he's doing. What I don't like is the name of his events. His events are named Let Us Worship, which I think is gay because it sounds like you're begging daddy for something. You're
appealing to their authority.
Yeah, I told my wife, because she's an awesome worship leader, I said we should do the same thing and just call it We Will Worship. You know,
dude, I was just thinking that we will worship.
WWW. You know, so like, but the thing is though, is that there is this article written that's been. Is he ready? Okay, can you put him in a car seat for me? There's an article written that said. It was by someone that was like, I was a Christian for 20 years and I went to Sean Fuchs' event and it made me not be a Christian anymore. Just like the classic, what are those? This is, I don't know if they're telling it. It doesn't seem like they're telling the truth. Obviously, we know they weren't actually, like they might have been going to church, but.
Classic gamma move.
Yeah, I was with you, man. I was with you.
I was with you, but then you're one pastor who claims to follow Jesus. How dare you, Jesus? I can't follow you anymore. Right. You're no longer the way, the truth, and the life. Fuck you, man.
Right, because but it was an article that I was on Facebook, and it was just like a lot of people were reposting it, and and it had the Amos scripture. Like just type in on Google Amos hate songs, and maybe I think that might give a good enough clue to Google. Google's pretty smart and evil. You know, Google's my brother's wife worked at Google, and you know what their company motto was for a long time?
So
like in their handbook, like it's part of it was part of their company handbook, was don't be evil.
Oh yeah,
and
then a couple years ago they removed that.
Right, and shortly thereafter,
I was like, uh-oh. And like, what's even funnier about that is right around the time that they removed the "Don't Be Evil," they started the Dragonfly program of China censorship. Have you heard about that?
Some gravy alert.
So Google was working with the Chinese Communist Party to develop like an extra special, like super secure and advanced version of cybersecurity. Tartarian Productions welcome and cyber like following and just like tracking and everything like to the max. And Google called it Dragonfly, and they were working with the Chinese Communist Party with that for a long time after they stopped saying "Don't be evil," and then they got caught, and they're like, "Oh, that was a past program that we're no longer doing. We promise."
Of course. Didn't their CEO step it down like November of last year or something?
Yeah, for a good 6 to 9 months of last year, over 300 CEOs of pretty much every major company in America stepped down, and they've been replaced by patsies, basically.
Well, because if you're the acting CEO, you can't dump all your stock. But if you
Well, no, see, like, the thing is, once you step down as CEO, then you have extra like legal protections because you're no longer a part of the corpus entity. And so also the new person who steps in to fill the role has literally no knowledge of the crimes. And so when the court system, if they catch them, they question the new CEO. The new CEO can honestly say, "I've got no idea what the hell you're talking about."
right. Hold on one second. Is he in the car? Can you put him in the
No,
car?
you're good.
Take him on a walk.
Yeah. Where's this passing?
I'm
Newfoundland Bear,
Jab,
welcome, welcome.
Jab.
jab. Every time I say jab, that bear, she goes jab, jab. It's my birthday next month, and my wife's like, "What do you want for your birthday? Like, what do you want party?" She's like, "You want to do like a poker night with the guys or something?" I was like, I want to have this party with Turpentine.
Well,
No,
Bear Razor just joined, and I'm glad that Bear Razor joined, and I want to let him know that I'm ready.
I would try not. I mean, Turpentine basically really gets things into your system. So if I was you, I would try to get organic sugar instead of GMO sugar.
Well, I read about that, and the reason why I specifically picked CNH sugar is because of the complete lack of like actual nutritional value, but also because of the high value of the sugar molecules, even though they're empty of nutrients. That's going to draw out, according to Dr. Jennifer Daniels, it's going to draw out the various parasites, which will make it much easier for the turpentine to then eliminate. And so if I were to choose a sugar with any more nutritional value, then those nutrients would assist the parasites in fighting against the turpentine, and thus make the cleanse less effective. And so you're purposely choosing the most worthless form of sugar here.
Interesting. Okay.
So it's basically like rat poison.
I could buy that. She's researched it a lot more than me. I was just using my, as much understanding as I had. But what were we talking about before that? Before you showed the did you find Amos? Did you Google Amos God hates?
Yeah, I was looking into that, and I can't find a good solid source.
It was like
when I
despise music. Maybe God despised music, or I despise your.
You know what? Let's make this easy. I'm just gonna very quickly scan the entire book of Amos.
I think it's Amos chapter 3. Start.
All right.
Look in there. Maybe like 3:17 or something. Or you could maybe Google Sean Fuke left church, and maybe you'll get that news article will come up on the thing. While you're looking at that, let's see what is. There has got to have been more gravy today. I felt like today.
Oh, dude, there's always more land down under bear. Welcome, welcome. There's always more gravy to be had. It's just a matter of cultivating the discernment to see, to have the eyes to see and the ears to hear. And in some cases, the nose to smell,
I put.
and the hand to grabble.
Oh, I got a little bit of gravy. While you're looking there, it was I posted on my Instagram feed a CNN article on purpose. I purposely looked at CNN, and they made an article about how Trump is overriding FDA to make the vaccine come into play faster. And I found that to be interesting because what they're CNN obviously panders to like the left, and what they're admitting with that headline is they know that the left is also not down with the COVID-19 vaccine. So basically, I mean, and I think this is true, even people that are not anti-vaxxers are still like, I'm not taking that shit. You know what I mean?
Right.
And so it's interesting that the Democrats are trying to continue the vitriol against Trump by saying Trump's trying to force a vaccine in, and so it makes me wonder if I'm going full on conspiracy mode here, but it makes me wonder if like they demonized Gates on purpose,
Yeah.
so
think about the history of Bill Gates, his family connections, marital ties, etc., etc. In addition to all like the vaccine programs in Africa and India, which has literally kicked him out of the country, and like all that other stuff. I think it's gotten to the point where the controllers have finally recognized that the majority of the population has figured out the trick and the spell of Bill Gates, and so now they're using him as a patsy. I completely concur.
Yeah, and so like what it does is it continues to support my theory that we're in the year of Jubilee, and that it's just all this COVID stuff is just going to end when Jubilee ends, which will be the new moon of March next year.
Byzantine Bear, welcome. Question: you've mentioned the year of Jubilee multiple times before. Have you done the math?
Yeah, I did. I got it on document. I should send you the picture of all the math. Someone did the math 2 years ago. That's why I believe it. It was, if it was done in hindsight, I wouldn't believe it. But it was done. It was done 2 years ago, and the guy was breaking some. He was I forgot how he does it. I'll have to send you the math, and he was breaking it.
Yeah, dude, send that. Like, that's interesting. That's gravy.
From creation. But the thing that was crazy is when he said, based on his calculation, the year 6000, the year of Jubilee 120 will start on the new moon of March 2020. This was 2 years ago. And the new moon of March 2020 was March 24th, which happened to be the day that the CARES Act passed, which is the day that memorialized the coronavirus thing. So
yeah,
if it's a year of Jubilee, if God sets a year of Jubilee in motion, it's like the rising of the sun. It can't, the devil himself cannot stop it from happening. All he can try to do is grapple it and get people in fear and get people to take loans. And so like the PPP loan, for example, was a loan that every small business took. Like it was like Jubilee's here. All right. Like that's forgiven. Okay. So what we're going to do is we're going to announce a new loan that's going to be fully forgivable, which I've heard that before with student loans. And,
right.
And you know,
we swear we're not tricking you at all.
Yeah. We want to help you. And we'll give the people $100 billion, and we'll go ahead and take the rest of the $6 trillion from it or more. So Jubilee would be supported by my. I just like, and I also posted a USA Today article, and the USA Today article said it said vaccines should be required, and this is the most patriotic thing we can do. So like the whole Q movement and everything of Trump followers, they took that maybe that word patriot, you know, was a spell, and now they can these news media companies can try to roll out their agenda using the word patriotic, you know, which I thought was some interesting gravel. And in the USA Today article, it was also giving how they could. So it's like it should be required, and then they even gave what it would look like if it was required, and it was they were like, so kids can't go to public school. It's like, all right, check, that's a good idea anyways. What else was it? You can't go into auditoriums without your vaccine verification. It's like, okay, check, we don't need to go into auditoriums. The only thing that I didn't like is, but we've already expected anyways, is you can't go on airplanes. Like, I think most
Well, but there have been people that have gone on airplanes and like flown all around the country without masks.
yeah, I've seen those videos, and I don't know. They might be psyops because there's Farmer Ryan.
Yep.
Farmer Ryan, he went on an airplane and didn't wear a mask, and they kicked him off and told him they're going to put him on the no-fly list. So that's the only real life example that I know that wasn't some video.
Do you know him personally?
What's that?
Do you know him personally?
Yeah. He we
whoa.
we chat and stuff and DMs, and he figured out how to send he figured out how to send USPS certified mail for free by using, there's a number on the back of your social security card, and you put that number in your on the label for those priority USPS mails. There's like a federal agency number, and that number on the back of your social security card is actually your federal agency number. So when you put that when you put that, and he did it, he tested it, and it delivered. He sent it to me. You have to write things differently. Like, you have to say, like, say you're sending someone to Texas, the way you put the address, you have to put like the nation of Texas and stuff. There's like a way you got to fill it out, but the crazy.
Do you have a tutorial video on that?
Yeah, he sent it to me, and it's on his Farmer Ryan. I think it's on his IGTV.
Can you send that to me as well?
Yeah, I'll find it and tag you in it. Because I got a bunch of like some e-commerce stuff, and if I could ship everything for free, he's like, I really think Amazon uses this, and it makes sense that we should be, if the USPS should be a service that we could use for free, because we've been sold, so we might as well get some benefits by our trespass.
Well, yeah, dude. Considering that there was a whole controversy a couple months ago where China had found this like legal loophole where like the USPS was losing money for every package that delivered to China. Yeah, so obviously Amazon's doing the same thing, and like that's why I want the gravy. So if I can do the same thing, yeah, I want to send packages for free. That'd be great.
Right, and then another little piece of gravy. I found out I have a friend who's a real estate agent in Texas, and she was in contract, and her deal got stalled because a Muslim group went to court and claimed Sharia law that they owned the land. They had no part of that land. That property, they didn't never live there or nothing. But they just tried to make their case using Sharia law in the U.S. courts to claim the house. Which, I mean, it makes sense. See, the thing about having a free country, quote unquote free country like we have, it does open the door for people like what I'm trying to do, basically. Me suing these corporations is me saying I have a religious exemption from wearing this mask, and how do you prove? I mean, I think I can say that. I think I have ground to say it, and like, with that said, I should have full and equal access to services of all business establishments, like the Civil Code says. So I should be able to win that suit. So
that being said, so initially I agreed with you that like the Sharia law thing and your thing are similar, but like as you talk